All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing, I guess, what is now a weekly live stream after each new episode of The Walking Dead. If we keep doing this, if we do this going forward, and just let me know as usual if anyone can hear me, if everything's good with the audio and all that. Looks like it is. I think we're okay for audio and all that. But yeah, not sure how many people are going to join us this week. Hey, Going Mach 5 podcast. How are you doing, man? Just let me know if you can hear me okay. Just give me the verification. If we're good this week, then I probably will stop asking for people to verify. But yeah, you can hear. So that's cool. So you like this episode, huh? Yeah. Oh man, this was awesome, right? But I mean, most of it was like, the last 10 minutes. That was the best part. If you guys didn't see it earlier, we did the review and we did predictions for what we think is going to happen in next week's episode, which looks equally awesome. Apparently, they swapped the position of the episodes for, I think Michonne's last episode was, rumors were it was going to be episode 12, which is next week's episode. And it sounds like they switched it to maybe 13. Lucky that they did that because I'm not interested in seeing Michonne's last episode right now. After that cliffhanger, I want to see the as Ben Jamin said right here, that he wants to see, it's a cliffhanger. So you do a cliffhanger like that, you got to show it to us. Like, don't do a season 7, premiere with a season 6 finale where we have to wait, that long. It worked anyway, but it's just frustrating as a fan when you got to wait that long to see what happens next because, right now the freaking Hilltop's on fire and Daryl and the others like, they're all, I used it in the thumbnail, right? They're all like stunned there. And yeah, like, oh man, whispers are for real. Hey guys. Yeah. Ghost. Yep. We're live. Golf professional TCC. What's up, Trev? Hey man. How you doing? Matt STFC says it's 4:05 a.m. So it depends where you are, Matt. For me, it's about midnight now. And sorry that I didn't get the live stream started sooner, but basically, it just takes a little bit of time to do the review and to do the predictions video, and then finally, when I get done those, we can do the live stream, right? So that's just kind of what it is, because I don't want people to get mad that I didn't do the review first, because that's what we've been doing for the last 11 years or 10 years or whatever, however you want to count it. Yeah, we're live for sure. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can send it through. If any of you guys want to help support the channel, you can use Super Chat if you want to. It's cool. So yeah, when Negan tells her that she's a real, you're a badass. It's an important one, right? Because what it's saying is it's acknowledging, as I said in the review, that Negan kind of recognizes that Alpha is sort of even more of a villain than he ever was. Like, she's more vicious, she's more nasty, she's a more dangerous threat and a more dangerous villain than he really was, right? Than he ever was. So Matt, STFC, been watching you since season 2 of The Walking Dead. So thanks, Matt. And thank all of you guys who've been watching the channel for a while. And since I was in high school, subby. Yeah, that's cool, man. I heard somebody say to me earlier, or last week's live stream, that he did a predictions video similar to what I do, and everyone in his high school found out. And I don't know if they made fun of him for it or what, but I laugh at the idea of like people in high school watching my videos. Like, it just cracks me up. Like a school knows who I am or something, or they talk about me on Monday or something. It's just weird to me. It's like, what? It's like, you guys at your high school know me. It's like, what is going on here? Because you got to remember, like when I was in high school, there was no internet or anything like that. But I could never have imagined that people on Monday would be like, oh, did you hear what Trev said last night or something? It's like, what? At The Walking Dead has our first super chat. Thanks, man. Who says, are the kids trapped in Hilltop? So I think the way the episode ended, they were in the let me say this, Barrington house, or the big freaking house at the Hilltop, right? They're inside there somewhere. And so, Ezekiel, it looks like from the preview, Ezekiel's going to run back probably and save them and get them out of there. Yeah, Daryl Dixon says teacher walks in. All right. Yeah, exactly, right? This is funny to me. Jack's been here since the UFC prediction videos. That's funny, right, Jack? Like, that's what I did. I used to do fight prediction videos for mixed martial arts and for things like that. And that's kind of where I got the idea to do predictions for what would happen next in Walking Dead. So that's kind of where that morphed from, is that it started in who I thought was going to win particular fights and why. and then it merged into kind of what I was doing with Walking Dead. So that's kind of funny, but yeah, that's kind of what happened. That's where I came up with the idea for like a death predictions video, was from UFC. It was from mixed martial arts, but they kept giving me shit to do them, so I stopped doing them. That's why. So it's cool. Walking Dead's more fun anyway. I like Walking Dead more than MMA. I do like MMA too. I like seeing a good fight, but Walking Dead is epic, man. Like, yeah, Jesse wants to see him again. Well, maybe we can bring him back eventually. Trev, what do you think Shane would do about the Whispers if he were alive? Man, that is so, because who would Shane even be at this time if he was still alive, right? He would be a totally different character and everything. So we did have some comments that I prepared beforehand, so we can start this one off. Alicia the Dead said after the Laura video, which I'm meaning to comment on this one, but we did the Corona video today, said like Eugene would say, it was classified. That's why we never knew that him and Laura, got together. If you guys missed the video on Friday, I think it was, the actress who played Laura revealed that she did a deleted scene with Eugene where they had sex because they were kind of closed in by all the walkers, and I guess she just went for it. I guess she figured, might as well before she died, right? And like Ezekiel and Carol in this episode, right? And then this guy's name, the Mighty Penis, says, Eugene, did you just busted me? That's classified, Laura. Pull-out game was not sufficient. That's that one. That's good. Dark Mako says, super good back half so far. And yeah, man, it has been an amazing first few episodes of the second half of a season, right? I mean, the first half of Walking Dead season 10 was good. And I don't want them to go through the content too fast either, because you have only a few years left of content from the comics. So I don't want them to burn through it too quickly, but I like what they're doing right now, where it's sort of like each season, you go through a certain amount and then you add in like Dante and you do the other stuff they did with Sadiq and that, and you build up to the stuff that happens later. I think that's good. Like, you have to kind of be, sparing with the amount of comic book content you go through, because you don't want to burn through it too quickly, considering you only have a couple years of that left. And then you're going to be doing your own, original stories, which could work out too. And they could always probably tap Kirkman for something to do as well, and do that. So I'm sure it'll still be good. But yeah, this back half so far has been incredible. I'd say we say already better than the first half. Well, in some ways, right? Imagine if Maggie killed Alpha when she returns. If that happened, all Negan and Carol fans would be pissed. So if Maggie got the kill on Alpha, well, based on the preview for next episode, it looks like maybe Negan will, because you've got him walking behind her in like a Shane-esque with Rick type of situation. He's kind of walking behind her, and I think Lydia is either in the cabin or maybe she's around there. So this might be Negan's time to try and strike, right? This might be his time to go for it. So either that, or there's the Look at the Flowers episode where Carol could get it. If Maggie was the one to kill Alpha, it'd be kind of, it wouldn't be that good after all the build up the whole season. But it'd be okay if Maggie comes in near the end to kind of save the group from zombies or something. Like, that would be okay, because then it's just, you're saving them from walkers, and you're not, doing something like taking out someone who's got a rivalry going with other people. And even for like the Negan idea too, it's like, you kind of, after this much time, you kind of want to see Carol get that kill. That one was from AOTD as well. Jack Overcut said earlier, loved it, but you'd think over this amount of time, they would have developed better defenses or weapons. I still need for them to explain why bullets aren't being made. So let's go into that one. Then we'll do the next a couple of super chats here. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks, Rob, again this week. You don't have to do it every week. I appreciate it. But that's cool. So for Jack, well, the way I view it, Jack, is that the group, and you can see this too, if you look at Rick fits this as well. The group has not really gotten stronger after All Out War. They started to lose important people. They lost Rick. And when you lose your fearless leader, what happens? Sometimes groups disintegrate. The kingdom goes bust, which they were setting up for a long time with the Henry fixing the water steam or whatever it was they were using. So over time, the groups actually didn't get stronger. They kind of shut down. Michonne got paranoid. She's like, don't let anyone in. Don't let anyone know we're here. Shut it down, right? So shut that shit down, no exceptions. And so they close themselves off to the world, and they shut in. So over time, they actually kind of got weaker. And then when they lost the kingdom as one of their locations, that's a big deal because you lose one of your outposts, right? Where a place you can go if you need to abandon ship from Hilltop or Alexandria. So they lost that as a viable location. And then the Pikes was different than we all thought it would be. We all thought they would have the Pikes, and all those people would be killed, and that would cause a fervor in the survivors to want to retaliate and attack back. But instead, they kind of showed that they weren't, after all a war and everything they'd been through, they were more kind of looking out for themselves. And instead of trying to get vengeance for the people that just were killed, like Carol still wants, most of the others, we get the sense maybe abandoned ship, or just their numbers dwindled, and the people that were afraid, like at the kingdom, for example, it's sort of like, because it happened at the fair at the kingdom, it's sort of like, the way I interpreted it is, the Pikes killed the heart of the kingdom. They killed the belief in it as a safe community, and that killed the kingdom as well. Like, even if they lost their water or whatever they had going there with Henry and Ezekiel and that, they probably would have been able to, if the people believed in it. Once people lose belief in something as a secure, place, they no longer want to be their home, and they're going to leave, and that's exactly what happened. So Robert Frank 615 says Earl wants to protect Hilltop like Herschel wanted to protect the farm. Do you think he's going to make it out of the battle alive? So it's a great question from Robert. I think you're right on the money there, Robert. I think that I think Earl's going to die next episode. I do. Like, if I had to do a death predictions video right now, I'd say Earl would be there, but it's okay because I like what they've kind of done with him. I think that he's been, a good support of everybody. He's obviously their blacksmith, so he's formed the Morning Star, and okay, maybe he didn't make that, but he's made a lot of weapons and swords and spears and whatever else they're using, or fix them maybe if they break over time, over the time skip, which however many years that is now at this point, like 7, 8, 9 years, whatever. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. It's a long time anyway, since Rick's been gone. And he was there. Earl was there before with Tammy and Ken, I think, right? So yeah, so I think his time is probably up. I think that maybe the Hilltop will basically be destroyed here, and then maybe when Maggie returns, she'll want to rebuild it. But I do think you're right. I think Earl's going to be killed off very soon. So yeah, absolutely. Jason DeVoe says, bring back UFC videos. All right, man. Well, since you did a super chat, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate that. I'll write it down for Jason to do some UFC videos, because now I feel obligated to it because you did that. So it's like, we'll do at least one or two or something. At least we'll do like some of the big fights or whatever, So yeah, we could do that. So yeah, we probably will. Did I miss one here? I don't want to miss anybody that's contributing. Yeah, Magoo82 says, anyone else get the same feeling as the Battle of Winterfell, just on a smaller scale? Yeah, that's exactly what I felt after I watched the episode is like. And if you guys have never seen Game of Thrones, Battle of Winterfell, it's just like a big battle. And there's lots of big battles in Game of Thrones because they have this huge budget where some seasons they got like $100 million to do some seasons. So they could do these huge open field battles, and some of them were spectacles. Some of them were really amazing. Some of the coolest stuff you'd ever see in a TV series ever, if you like to see open battles. This was as close as we've ever had, I think, in Walking Dead to getting to see like a huge battle. But the thing is like we just said, we were just talking about, is that over the years, the numbers of the communities have dwindled down. So then after the Pikes, you lose all. They kill off a lot of important characters there that I didn't expect. I didn't expect to see Henry, maybe Tara, but because she'd been there for a long time. But Enid and a lot of the others that were killed off there. Tammy was one of them too, right? Yeah, she was. And so it's just you lost a lot of those point of view characters from different spots, and you just don't have that many notable survivors still alive in The Walking Dead right now. It's a good thing they added on Magna's group, because really they just need some numbers there for some named characters, because you have so many that are not at this time. So the other thing too about it though is that this is probably the biggest type of battle maybe we'll ever see in Walking Dead for this type of thing in one episode, because they're a different network than something like HBO, where they pay for a subscription service, so they got all this money they can do. Walking Dead has money too, obviously, but they're doing the 16 episodes in a different format. And because they're doing that, it's different in terms of the way they have it set up for, I think, episodes and budgets and whatnot. So in commercials, like it's a different network. So, and it's a different model, subscription versus old school cable with Premiere, right? So it's just different. So that's probably the biggest battle type of thing that maybe we'll see in Walking Dead, unless they do something bigger in Alexandria. But I thought it was amazing, man. Absolutely. So, so we got those ones. What did we get next? And if you guys are just joining, thanks for joining. I guess we got 190 people now, so that's pretty good. And thanks for all you guys. We'll go maybe about, to give you an idea, maybe we'll go for an hour or something, or until we run out of stuff. And if you guys are still here. 10th Shadow Step, thanks for the super chat, says, what's up, Trev? Been sub for, God, years now. Early Walking Dead, like season 3. Keep up the good work, man. You're my Walking Dead news. So thanks, man. I appreciate that. And thank all you guys who are still, who are still subscribed to the channel, who still watch the videos, who still leave questions and contribute and do all that stuff. That's what I'm saying, is I'm just happy we can still do this together. That's basically it. Because, if you look at all these other series over the years, like Game of Thrones or like all these others, they're not on anymore. But I think Norman Reedus just did an interview recently. I think it was on Sway in the Morning or something like that, where he answered the question of how The Walking Dead lasted a decade. And he kind of said something like, how often they change the characters they develop and they reinvent the show and they keep things moving. But I mean, really, it's like, how did it last 10 years? Because it's really goddamn good. That's how, like that's the simple answer, right? But yeah, because they change it up so much, it's like, yeah, it does well. Logan Brenmo said, do you think Carol is in the shack? So did Negan find Carol in the shack hiding? I don't think so. I think Lydia, but maybe you're right. Maybe it's not Lydia. The way the preview video looks, you have Negan and he kind of looks over, and you have Lydia and she's kind of like limping or something like this. So, but you know how AMC likes to be creative with their preview videos. Sometimes they'll clip it, they'll take it, and they'll take another scene and they'll make it look like Negan's looking at this person, and maybe that's not the person at all. So maybe you're right, Logan. I don't think Carol's in there though, and Alpha's going in to kill her. I think it's Lydia, but maybe it's nobody. Maybe Negan's decided that Judith is in danger, that, the kids are in danger. She's just going to kill everybody. This is going to be brutal. So get her to go over here and then take her out when you can, right? Like if Negan gets a chance. So Daryl Dixon, Eugene losing his virginity, not far. Well, are we to consider what the actress who played Laura says as canon? If so, he's already lost it, right? So he's all of a sudden, he's alpha Eugene. Eugene's become an alpha male, right? He's no longer a beta male waiting for a chance with Rosita. It's funny. So I like that one. I like what they did in the episode. That's a good thing about, if you look at the trailers, for example, like I just said, you watch the trailer and it looks like, and they did this with Michonne too, and Ezekiel earlier on this season. You watch the trailer and you get the impression that you have a hookup between Eugene and Rosita. That's what you think if you watch the trailer. But then you get to see the episode here now, and it's clearly not the case. Clearly there, I guess it was a test from Rosita to see if he would do it given the opportunity, and I guess to see if he really cares about Stephanie or this other girl that he's been talking to. So she's just interested to find out how much he cares or whatever. And maybe she's a little bit, well, you guys called her Rosita, right? So, so she's a little bit is open with her sexuality. Is that a thing, right? She's in high demand. What are you going to say, right? It's kind of like, how do you differentiate between someone who's a whore or a man whore and someone who's just in high demand? It's kind of like, it's kind of tricky to say, right? So I don't know, so, but she's a little bit open with her sexuality, giving him an opportunity to see. And then see, women are at a different level when it comes to relationship stuff, right? Guys, do you see that? You see how they'll test and then they'll see and stuff like this. And you can see it with Angela Kang show running The Walking Dead now in all the different character stuff that's in this episode. You see just this, more advanced, I want to say, in terms of communication and in terms of relationship stuff. Like us dumb guys, we're like, we're not privy to that kind of stuff. What do you mean it was a test? Whatever. Well, I just wanted to see blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay. I guess so. So yeah, good stuff. What else we got here, man? I went back, watched the Game of Thrones finale rant just because I thought it was so funny for Logan. Yeah, I was so mad when that happened, man. So we got some color. I've got these, so I got these lights so you can do like different colors. Does that look okay? And by the way, for you guys, when you're watching the videos, do the color background, does it annoy you? Should I just not use it, or do you think it looks cool, or does it bother your eyes or something when you're watching? Let me know, because I've always wondered for that. Here, let's do purple, since there's girls running the show now. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Cool colors. Yeah. What else can we do? We can do lots of different colors, man. It's got lots of ones. Green, whatever. I don't know. So it looks good, Trev. Yeah. All right. Let's just shut it off for now because, it's like whatever, but it's cool. Anyway, dog is in Alexandria. Is that where dog is? Dog is in Alexandria. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Tim digs it. He likes the colors. Okay, cool. Yeah, Trev, you do it wrong, Tony. Thanks, Tony, man. Whatever I do. Dog is in Alexandria. Okay, well, that makes sense. Tim digs it. He likes the colors. Okay, cool. Yeah, Trev, you do it wrong, Tony. Thanks, Tony, man. Whatever I do, there won't be eye candy. Well, they killed Laura off, right? And who do they have from Walking Dead aside from Rosita right now? It's probably somebody, but I can't think off the top of my head. Depends on your age category too, right? So, yeah, so... What if Beta's death, they lift up his mask and recognize Ryan Hurst? So in the comics, they did a part for Beta where Beta was a basketball player, which makes sense because he's like this freaking huge thing and he's like super fast and stuff. So he's an athlete and stuff. So, that does make sense if he's some kind of basketball player or something. But I think they revealed in Fear with the crossover covers that he's a singer, like some kind of country singer or something like that. So Beta is a singer. He's an artist, I guess. So will they lift up his mask and see that he's some kind of country singer they know? They probably will do that at some point. But will it be this season or next season? I'm not sure. And who will die first? You guys can leave some comments about this one. Do you think that Alpha will be killed off first or Beta? I've been thinking Alpha would be killed off first and Beta would be there, longer. Something like that is what they did in the comics. So... yeah, but we'll see. So let me see your guys' comments if somehow they might remix that up and Beta would be killed off sooner. But I don't think that he will, right? So let's see what else we got here. So let's see. Okay, Blitz has got one. I've been pretty disappointed with The Walking Dead lately. I hate to be so negative, but season 9 was such a huge step in the right direction that this season just isn't good in comparison. Everything is build up. Well, like we said earlier, they're building up to what they're doing. The first half of the season, they made good usage, better than I ever thought they could, out of a villain version of Dante, which was really cool, Sadiq, and, they didn't want to blow through the Whisper stuff too fast. So that makes sense. And, just be patient, man. I mean, I think the end of this episode was awesome. So wait to see what we got coming next, and I'm sure there'll be some good stuff. So just hang tight and see how the season ends off. I think it's going to be really great. Also, keep in mind that with character deaths and stuff, if you look at the season 9 finale episodes, the winter one and the Pikes, are you really going to have that many character deaths after you killed off so many at the Pikes right away? Like, you might only have a few, right? Mike Regali says, death predictions, Trev. Well, I kind of did them for this half already, so they're in the channel if you want to watch them. But for now, we're going with Earl. Everybody's kind of saying, like, yeah, they think Earl will probably be killed off soon. So let's see. Okay, Striker's got one. Q&A, Trev. What do you think we will, or when do you think we'll see Georgie again? Also, is she going to be the TV version of Pamela Milton? Well, yeah, I think she actually kind of will be. She looks just like her from the comics. And maybe we won't see her with Maggie in the finale, but maybe we'll see her next season, like season 11, something like that. Because you have Eugene going to meet Stephanie, which at first I thought that the voice on the radio was Althea. But then after they did the singing stuff, I'm like, oh, no, it's not. The way she says people is somewhat similar to Althea from Fear, but it doesn't sound like that's what they're doing. Because when she sings later, it's like, okay, it doesn't sound like her at all. Plus, if they're doing a romantic relationship, Althea is gay. So So you can't. So you wouldn't do that with Eugene, but it sounded a bit like her. It's just my mind probably playing tricks on me, looking for these crossover things. And it's like there's not that many crossovers, right? So it's like what it is. But Rachel Cole says, I don't think season 9 was the best season. That's for sure. So you didn't think season 9 was the best? It's I thought season 9 was pretty amazing if you consider it being Rick's last season, what they did with it, and kind of how fast they went from that into the Whisperer stuff. You got to understand that losing Rick on The Walking Dead is something that they've done a great job of kind of making us sort of almost forget about it. Like they've had so much fast-paced stuff come afterwards with Daryl that they've managed to sort of work it out to where they didn't lose everybody. But if you lose like your lead star like that in a show, most shows would capsize. They would end right away after you lose Rick. Like it's kind of amazing that they've been able to keep it going and keep a good number of people still watching and still excited to see the episodes without Rick, because that's losing him is such a big thing. That it's kind of awesome they've been able to keep things going for sure. So because a lot of other series probably wouldn't if they lost their lead character, right? So they'd probably decide to end it. What's up, Donnie? Donnie says hi. How you doing, Donnie? Triple H says, well, it could be worse. It could be fair. Okay, what do we got here? Meaning like they kill off even more. Well, that's one thing about Fear is that they killed off even more of the key survivors even faster than the original Walking Dead did, right? Is true. So, all right, what else? We got some good comments here from you guys. We got a good one. I think from Shaun of the Dead would kick everyone's arse in The Walking Dead from Cameron Stocks. So The Walking Dead, Trev. So yeah, Shaun of the Dead is really fun. If you guys have never seen it, Shaun of the Dead is good stuff. Skid Mark is waiting for Alpha in the shed. Yeah. Yeah, it's Daniel from Fear, right? Exactly. Did the radio singing feel like Stranger Things season 3, Trev? Really? You got a Stranger Things vibe from the radio singing? I didn't get that, but I am excited for Stranger Things season 4. Anybody know the release date of when Stranger Things season 4 is going to hit? Leave me a comment there so I can kind of see, because I haven't heard anything yet for an actual release date for it. It'll probably be next year at this point, right? I would think. Trev, don't you think that Daryl calling Judith little ass kicker again, like he did when he was, or would you like to see him do that, little ass kicker? Yeah, I would like to see that. That's true. And I did like the scene between him and Judith in this episode. I thought that was great. Even just for a minute or whatever, and them being scared for each other and wanting to protect each other. So Lat Trickster thinks around Halloween or the fall time that we'll probably see Stranger Things season 4. Yeah, nice. So that is good, right? So pretty soon, not too far off. SKM Film, Trev, my area is out of masks and hand sanitizers. Stay safe up there in Canada from the what. So I won't, some people get mad that I did a video on it. They got mad that I did one, but it's like, yeah, so I went to Walmart today to get some groceries and some stuff for the animals and whatnot. And they were all out of face masks. They had none, zero. And they had I went to the home, the home improvement section and you have every rack, there was 7 or 8 racks for face masks that usually would be stocked full, right? And every single one was empty. So I guess face masks are somewhat good to prevent droplets. So if you get any kind of saliva or coughing droplets and somehow you ingest it or you absorb it, then you'll get it. So, so is it something if you guys can find a face mask still, maybe you have one. It's probably not a bad idea. I've got one, just one though. I wanted to buy another one. So it's okay, well, it's what it is. Big Kev 619 SD says, do you even lift, bro? Joking. Do you think Carol will get pregnant? That would be a cool twist. Another mixed race baby. Thanks, Big Kev. Well, I'm probably not as big as you are, but I do lift as much as I can, in between making videos and stuff. So that's fun though. But about all the combinations of people of different races hooking up, right, and Walking Dead. But it's everything. It's you see it in every show. Conspiracy theorists love that one, right? So I can't really argue with them. Maybe they've got a point. It's like you have to have everybody, and I don't know. Anyway, it's okay. We're not going to be racist here or anything like that. It's probably just a coincidence, but you guys know what I'm saying, right? So it's what it is. Daryl versus Beta round 2 from AJ Maris. Yeah, man. I can't wait to see Daryl face off against Beta again when he heals up, though, because he's still healing after getting sort of an ass kicking from Alpha, right? So Newman Outdoors earlier said the last 2 episodes have been home runs. Love them, Trev. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Christina Taylor also thought earlier that Earl's going to die. He said that in the review. Brad Nicholas says, Trev, did you notice how the third time Negan whipped Alpha, she didn't actually say again? It reminds me of how Alpha didn't tell Gamma to kill her sister, but Gamma did anyway. Is Negan really under Alpha's spell? So that's a really good question. So because they hook up, is Negan under Alpha's control? That's a tough one, right? Like, do you guys leave your comments since we're on live stream? Do you think that Negan is really 100% on Alpha's side? Well, I think he sort of is, as long as Alpha allows people the chance to surrender. I think he's pretty big on that, because I think he sees it from the perspective when he was in charge and he was part of the Saviors, and he had maybe the strongest group aside from the Whispers we've ever seen. And could the Saviors in their prime with their 50 cal have taken out the Whispers? That's a good question. When they had all their firearms, could they have beaten the Whispers if they'd have faced them at that time? I'm not sure. Maybe they would have, like if they had the 50 cal and stuff like that. But then again, Alpha is pretty cunning and Beta is deadly. So, and if the Whispers had guns too back then okay, maybe not, right? Maybe the Whispers would have won. But you got to think for Negan that he's kind of got his way of doing things, which is you have to allow people the opportunity to surrender. He's been in lots of those battle type situations, because if you guys remember from the Sanctuary, nothing grows at the Sanctuary. So because they live there and because they have these kind of outposts, they are kind of forced to get other communities to make food for them, to farm for them, to do these things, and then feed it up to them. By itself, the Sanctuary is not a place it's not self-sufficient. You couldn't live there because you can't grow anything. You can't, you have all these people you got to feed. You would have to go out and either start a farm somewhere else or do something like that, or get other people to give it up to you. So Negan probably feels very, I would think, set in his ways as far as surrender is concerned, giving people an opportunity to surrender if it comes down to it, rather than just loose sealing them, killing them all, that whole thing. The governor was more like a kill 'em all type of villain. And I think he's finding out now that Alpha is too, even to the point where when it comes to, as we saw last season, babies or children, she doesn't really seem to care. And I don't know how many children are actually in the Whispers, if they have even a single one or anybody. It doesn't really seem like they do, right? It doesn't seem like they're like that. So I think that Negan probably is under her spell, but he has a few sticking points, one being allowing people the chance to surrender if they want to. And if she's not going to do that, then he might see her as a total monster, and he might take his opportunity to try and take her out if he can, to protect Judith and to protect the others. So let me know what you guys think about that one too. Let's see what else we got here, because I missed the chats for a bit. Okay, let's see. Maybe one question from you guys. Okay. Are you watching episodes on Premiere on Sunday, Trev, from Mike Regali? Sunday nights, basically, because I work Friday and I work Saturday. So I watch them I have my schedule set around the same thing as I always have. I'm off Sunday, Wednesdays. So I do, basically Sunday is the day when I get time, unless I watch it after work or something. And then it's like, on Premiere, it's like, it's not that good. I like to watch it, get excited with you guys, do the review right afterwards, basically. So that's kind of why I do it Sunday nights mainly. The Manhammer said, Trev, I like this episode a lot, but do you think adding a scene at the end of Judith and the kids looking out the window at the blazing hilltop walls and then cut to black would have been more effective? Not really. You're going to probably see that next week. So I don't know if it was really necessary. I mean, you saw the fire, you saw everything like that. We have an understanding the kids are inside, and Judith is Judith kind of the lead kid? I guess she'd kind of be the lead kid in there. So, so I felt like, it was a exciting cliffhanger ending, and it was plenty good enough. maybe that could have been cool, but I liked the way they showed it, and I thought it was about as good of a cliffhanger as you could get. Nick Gurr says, will Negan reunite with Lucille? Well, he's got a bat of some kind with him, right? So he has a bat there. Is it? It's not the original Lucille. It's just a bat, I think. That maybe he's wrapped again or something like that. You can see it in this preview coming up. He's kind of dragging it on the ground, and part of it when there's the dust kind of settling and everything after the big fight. Blitz says, have you seen the sneak peek where Aaron runs into Negan? Not yet. I haven't seen it yet, so I want to check that out. I haven't seen it just yet, but I want to check it out after this. I feel the Saviors would wreck the Whisperers. Guns would change this completely. That's from Dirty Dan Brannon. Well, the thing is that I think we are to assume that the Whisperers had lots of guns before. Or I would think they would, right? Nowadays, their ammunition's almost gone. So Alpha has a double barrel sawed-off shotgun, and they have an AK-47, and they have a few different guns. But, you know, it's probably the same as, like, even if the Saviors were still around now, unless they were still manufacturing bullets, which we saw how that went before for them, they would have run out of all their ammunition too. So if the Saviors were still around, I think the Whisperers would stomp them. If you go back in time and you do all-out war with Whisperers instead of the Survivors against the Saviors, then you have to give them guns too. And if you give them guns too, then the Whisperers, I would think, would probably win against the Saviors, just personally. Because Rick and the others took them out. So if Rick and the others took them out, then I would think that that probably Alpha would have been able to as well. Yeah, so it's what it is. I'd like to see a Negan versus Beta with Lucille. I think that'd be cool. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll see it. That would be cool because I'm not sure who would win. I guess I'd probably go with Beta as being able to beat Negan, even with a bat. But it's still what it is. Randy Barnett said earlier, Trev, what if the coronavirus mutates into the zombie virus, right? Then it's definitely engineered by somebody, right? No, I don't know. So yeah, that's one. Yeah, Julie Libera Art 70 said, seriously, Trev, do a video or do a story on influenza. It has killed 13,000 Americans this year so far, and kind of talks about she goes into the hysteria a little bit, or she says, you're just contributing to the hysteria by doing a video on it. Well, I get what you're saying, and you're right that there is quite a bit of hysteria out there around Corona right now, COVID-19 right now. But, I mean, it is a pretty big deal. I did one like 100,000, but now it's at 105,000 last I saw. So another 5,000 count in a few days. That's a pretty rapid spread, pretty fast. So will it continue? We'll see. I think people will find a way to beat it back down and, quarantine it up, and it'll be okay. Once we all know about it, we can be careful. But people should know, right? I think people should know that there's this thing out there, and to be careful and all that. And to be safe, as I hope all you guys are. That's all. It's not a bad thing. I mean, should be, yeah, but it's just something, right? It's okay. Alatoro 5 said Walking Dead is going to have some fierce competition with some of the new series coming out. So I think he's referring to Last of Us on HBO, which is coming. So he's thinking that Last of Us might be some competition for Walking Dead since it's on HBO and everything. But if you think about it, when Game of Thrones was on, and it was even on Sundays too, it wasn't on the same weeks usually, but those were the years when Walking Dead had their most viewers ever, right? And they still, AMC still did fine. They did their most ever. And now that there is no, Game of Thrones on or anything like that, really in the same kind of space as Walking Dead. That's about as close, I think, of any series that's been on the past 10 years to Walking Dead. It's even got the White Walkers and stuff, which are like their version of zombies, sort of. And it's got character deaths and everything. So there's a lot of similarities between them. But that didn't hurt Walking Dead for it to be on. It did its best years ever while Game of Thrones was on. So I don't think that HBO doing a Last of Us series is going to be real competition for The Walking Dead. I get kind of what he's saying, that it's going to be fierce competition for Walking Dead. If they put it on during the same time slot, maybe, but then there's premiere and things like this. But I just don't think so, man. I know Last of Us is like apocalyptic and everything, and they've got whatever zombies or monsters or whatever. I don't know. I never played the game, but it does sound cool, like a cool series. But I don't think of it as competition for Walking Dead. Walking Dead has its audience. It's set in stone. They're going to watch it no matter what else is happening out there in the world. and I don't really see anything as really competition for Walking Dead. I just don't. Walking Dead is its own thing. It's what it is, and nothing else that's on is going to stop people from watching Walking Dead, right? It's not gonna happen no matter what's on. Let's see. Negan, no way Negan is on her side completely, from Logan. Yeah, it's true. You kind of feel like Negan's on his own side too, right? Like he's one of those. He's always kind of in some way on his own side. Travis Ohm, thanks for all the info over the years, dude. I've been watching you since season 4 and always enjoy your input. So thanks, man. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm glad that you guys are still here, and I enjoy hanging out with you guys for sure. Negan versus the Governor, says NB, who would win? I'll go with Negan, but the Governor was pretty badass for his time. I mean, that was a pretty early time, and he had Merle, and Merle was super badass too, just like Daryl would be now, it's like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Did Rick ever come back in the TV series? Says Hans Bjorkman. No. So maybe this some episodes. No, Rick never returned. And will he ever return? Apparently not, but who knows? He might get, who knows what happens with the movies, because it's now, if you look at it, thanks, 10th. We'll do your question in just a sec. It's now March 9th, right? 2020, and the movies have not started filming yet. So it's like, when are they going to start these damn movies, right? It's like, you got to start them soon. And it's like, it's kind of getting late. So, I mean, you want to start those movies soon, I would think. So, I mean, I'm hoping they start filming the Rick movies very soon, because otherwise it's like, it's just, we'll start thinking of Daryl as the lead or something. Like, that's already starting to happen now. So, yeah. So 10th, Shadow Step. Thanks for the super chat, 10th. What character would you bring back who's dead? I think someone asked this last week. Mine is, and I know you disagree, Beth. Yeah, you're right. I disagree. She got killed right after a full arc of her becoming a competent survivor. Beth still has her fans, man. Beth has some crazy, you guys for 10. I appreciate the super chat, 10, but you Beth fans are crazy. It is now season freaking 10. We're almost in season 11, and you're still talking about Beth. But it's okay. It's okay. We can do it because she is one of the OG Walking Dead survivors and stuff, and that's funny. But yeah, it's your point. If you got to bring back one, you can bring back whoever you want. You would bring back Beth. So I get it. That's kind of cool. Would she have gone with Maggie when Maggie left? Maybe, but with Coda and everything. So, but I still remember the iconic scene. Daryl's carrying her out and stuff, and I get those vibes from Lydia. When you see Daryl with Lydia, reminds you of Beth and him carrying her out. That is a pretty iconic scene, right? That's like, and he's crying and stuff. That's like sadness to the highest level you're ever gonna you're gonna see in a TV series, something like that, or like Lori or something like that. But my answer to this one was Glenn, and still is Glenn. That if I could bring back one character, I bring back Glenn. And the reason why is because he just made the show he was just really positive. I really like Stephen Yeun. I think that for some reason, he's able to communicate a lot of positivity for me. And he just makes me feel good to see him, doing his thing. And you had him and Maggie and everything. And then Herschel, their baby, and also her dad, Herschel, too, with the watch and everything. So I like Glenn a lot. I like Stephen Yeun. And apparently, he's going to be voicing Invincible, which is one of Robert Kirkman's other popular comic book series. It has a really long run, too. It ran almost as long as The Walking Dead. Not quite, but it ran like 140, 150 issues, something like that. And The Walking Dead ran 193. So, yeah, I bring back Stephen Yeun. I bring back Glenn. And I'm looking forward to see him voice Invincible in their adult cartoon series they're going to do on, I think it's Amazon or one of the streaming services. So, yeah, so I'm looking forward to see that. All right, let's see. Okay, so we got, let's see what other good questions we have. Okay, so Mathis says, what if they shock the world and Alpha kills Negan? We know that we are expecting Negan to kill Alpha. So what if they twist it and it makes us all shit ourselves? So, you already know what I'm going to say, right? If Alpha kills Negan, do you think Trev's going to be happy? Look at this face. Look at this face. You think I'm going to be happy if they kill? Someone answer this question for me. Will Trev be happy if The Walking Dead kills off Negan? And will Trev be happy if Alpha's the one who does it? If Beta does it, that's a different story. But will Trev be a happy camper if Negan is killed off? No, I won't. However, this is one thing that kind of fits in, though. Negan has now helped Alpha block the roads off, which is likely going to kill people from the Hilltop. In order for Negan to later be allowed back to join the groups, if he does, he would have to earn their favor. So if he kills Alpha, then they'll forgive him. But if he doesn't kill Alpha and, he just keeps serving her, then he probably cannot go back to his cell, and he probably cannot go back to joining the survivors ever. So maybe it's sort of one of those things where maybe Negan has to kill Alpha, and he has to be the one to do it so that he can redeem himself, and this guy can come back to the survivors' side after and be one of the group, because they will probably exonerate him if he brings Alpha's head and he proves that he's the one who killed her, he did it, and then they'll forgive him probably. So I would think so, because then he assassinated their leader, and she's extremely dangerous. So not that it's going to help much, because then you have to deal with Beta after. But Beta's fearsome physically, right? And he's somewhat crafty. He goes up in the ground and stuff. But I still tend to think that Alpha, like, who would you rather mess with? Would you rather have to mess with Alpha or Beta? Beta will kill you, physically if you get in contact with him. But Alpha is just kind of crazy, man. Like, she'll just poison the water, send in spies. She's just kind of more sadistic. It's like, who would you rather fight, or who would you rather mess with? Would you rather face Alpha, or would you rather face Beta if you had to choose? And maybe you go with Beta, as bad as he is physically, because if Alpha gets you, what you got, razor wire and stuff like this, it's kind of like, I don't know, man. Laura's fate wasn't that bad. At least she didn't get razor wired or something. That to me sounds more painful and worse. JC, thanks for the super chat, JC. I appreciate it, man. Who will be in the shed next episode? Also, do you like the horror element? I think Michonne will find out Rick is alive and die. No one would know. Man, that would be crazy, right? Was Judith using the radio to try to contact Michonne? I'm not. Was that the impression we're supposed to get, that Judith was on the radio trying to talk to Michonne, her mom? I'm not sure about that. That's kind of what I thought. I didn't mention in the review because there was just so much in the episode, but that's kind of what I thought, right? But who will be in the shed next episode? Well, I'll go with Lydia, Jay. But let me know in a comment who you think it is. Some people, like someone said Carol earlier. Someone said maybe nobody. Maybe Negan is luring her there, and he's gonna go for it. Or maybe someone else is right. He'll try it, he'll miss, and then Alpha will stab him or something and beat him down. I'll be so upset. But then again, the only way I could see Alpha killing Negan is if JDM needs to leave Walking Dead, which, I mean, I don't know if it could ever happen. I mean, they've got a pretty big budget already, I would think, in terms of overhead, of costs of who they have to pay to do the episodes and everything. So maybe that's possible that they have to, do something like that. But I hope, Trev will not be happy, Hacksaw says, if Negan gets killed. I'll be super pissed. But, I mean, it's what it is. A couple years left, I guess. Maybe a few. I hope Negan survives long-term, and I hope JDM is in for it long-term, and he doesn't want to be killed off or something. Because I guess if they decide they want to be killed off, it's not too hard for them to work that out. It's like, oh, you want to be killed off? Okay, fine. We'll do it here, there. Here's your options. Pick which one you like. And what about the second part he said about Michonne maybe finding out that Rick is alive? So if she finds out Rick is alive somehow, she'll continue going to try to find Rick, I would think. And then maybe we have to see her in the movies, and they're supposed to be doing 3. Maybe that's what happens. But maybe that's not the case. I don't know how the scenes in the trailer fit in with her, and she's got kind of the head wrap, whatever that is. Is that a do-rag or something? I don't know, whatever. And then she's got Lucille, and she's pointing at somebody, where would she get Lucille from? Did she bring it with her? I just don't know where that would come from. Did she make one? I don't know. Is she going to hunt down, is Virgil going to turn on her and then she hunts him down or something? It doesn't seem like she'll cross back into the storyline that's happening right now with the Whispers and the others. If she was I would think we would have heard her on the radio with Judith, but we didn't. So that's a tricky one. Yeah. Okay, what we got next? Let's see. Lots of comments here. That would be something. Says J Spot J. No, Brandon, they won't. That's from Dirty Dan. Brandon, Lucille is a pinch hitter these days. Says Tony. Tobias is in the shed. Says Ronald. It's ridiculous. Giuseppe, yo, Trev. Hey man, how you doing? Let's see. Nut Tap War. Negan versus Beta, right? Well, Negan's the master of nut tapping, so yeah, Negan has to win that one. So. But Beta would just get frustrated and start hitting him or something. Slam him. Something like that. Yeah, RJ versus Beta, ultimate death battle. Yeah, that's a tough one, right? And RJ was in this episode too, wasn't he, right? Did he have the hat on? I think so. He was just briefly in it. Like you could, if you didn't look for it, you'd pretty much miss it, right? You would. So, yeah. So what's up, Trev, John? Hey, man. Okay, I think, let's see. Okay, let's see. I got some other good questions here that I wrote down earlier. Beta is a dirty fighter. Is he? Do you get the sense that Beta is a dirty fighter? I don't know. Gregory Ramirez says, "Is it over? Is the live stream over?" No, you're here. We're here. I'm here. Still here. You're here. We got 320 people here. Alpha's head instead, 2 out of 2. So I'm guessing after Negan kills Alpha and is walking back to the survivors, Michonne runs into Negan, who is holding Lucille 2.0. And after a scuffle, Michonne holds Lucille at Negan, but Negan shows, Alpha's head instead. Well, that's not a bad, Joey Jojo's got a pretty good prediction. So he's saying that he thinks that Negan will run into Michonne and that Michonne will take Lucille from Negan, the new one, I guess. And Negan will have Alpha's head and then maybe it'll be okay. And then Michonne won't kill him or something. So never commented on live chat, but been a long-time fan. So thanks, Maverick. Thanks for watching, and thanks for joining us. They're really going to make us wait again. Danae Roos says after the cliffhanger, yeah, they're going to make us wait till next week's episode to see what it is. Rachel Cole says, being in the movies is part of the jobs she's leaving the show for. So you think that Michonne's leaving the show so she can be in the movies? How the whole thing is going to work out, I just don't know. I just hope that Gimple, I'm sure he has some master plan. He's super smart and everything. He's, we hate on Gimple sometimes, but he's probably the person that's most responsible for the success of the Walking Dead TV series, I want to say. The TV series version. Kirkman comics, yeah. But he probably is most responsible for the success of the TV show. So I'm sure he has a plan and everything, and we'll see the movies eventually here. I'm not doubting that the movies will get done, but it's just unfortunate that it's kind of taken so long for them to do the movies, and how this whole thing is going to fit together, and whether or not they're going to do any more crossovers with Fear or with World Beyond, it kind of remains to be seen. Like how is this whole thing going to kind of fit together? Because it almost feels like with Michonne leaving, and then you have Maggie somewhere in there too, with probably Commonwealth and Georgie or whatever it is, and then CRM and everything, and then World Beyond. It's sort of like becoming this kind of crazy sort of puzzle piece that to put it all together is kind of like, how does this whole thing kind of fit together and when do things sync up? But I guess if they're building a whole universe of Walking Dead, then, which is great. I'm glad they're doing that and they're not just ending the show, because they could just do that too, like Game of Thrones did. And there's no Game of Thrones now. So I'm glad they are creating this bigger universe for Walking Dead fans. I think it's really smart. And I'm really glad that Gimple went to AMC and that AMC got him, and that he's put that kind of effort into building this kind of thing. Because you do need someone there who's going to have a master plan, is going to create some kind of bigger universe or something. If you don't have that, you can get a Game of Thrones situation where the ending sucks. They just end it, but there's really no reason why they did. And it's not going to anything. It's just over, which is worse for fans, I think, than what it is. So 404 Racer says no movies. So, I think they'll get at least a movie done or two, and I'm hoping Michonne will be in it, but I don't know how that fits in with her leaving Judith and RJ. I just don't know how the whole thing fits together. So, Trev, do you think before Alpha sent her horde to the Hilltop, Negan gave Alpha back shots? What are Manhammer, what are back shots? Is that a sexual thing? I don't know. I don't know what you're saying, man. I try to keep up with the lingo, but you have people here from different places, and explain that to me. What are back shots? I just don't know. Yeah, Beta versus Francis Ngannou. That'd be a good fight. I'd like to see that. Yeah. So, okay, here we got one from Shannon who says, Trev, Daryl would never go to New Mexico because he's going to become Judith and RJ's guardian when Michonne leaves, and he would never leave them. They're his family. So if things are peaceful, though, Shannon, maybe him and Carol would maybe go off and take a little bit of a break, and then Aaron or somebody would watch them in the meantime. It's not impossible to do, and it sounds like Norman Reedus is going to be in the series until the very end, so that's good. But I would not be surprised if they did, at least a part where he goes off for a little while and comes back. Like give him a year break or something. Don't you think he deserves a year break or something at some point? And if you use the New Mexico thing with him and Carol, you can get them to leave and then come back, right? Something like that. So Gregory Ramirez, thanks for Super Chat. Gregory says, I don't have cable. Is the episode over? Yeah, the episode's over, Gregory. Sorry, man. Yeah, I mean, you could probably watch it on a rerun, or maybe you could watch it online or something. There's Premiere Online. I think AMC has a service for that. There's some websites you can watch it on. I can't link them or anything here, but just be careful. Don't install anything. Don't install any adware or any crap like that. There's some tuner sites and stuff like that. That's about the best I can do. Blitz is laughing his ass off at back shots. I'm dead, he says. So, I don't know. Favorite episode this half so far, Trev, from Mike? Yeah, I'd say this is probably my favorite episode from this half that we've seen so far. What do you guys think? Is it the best episode they've done this half? Well, the beta stuff was really cool. I mean, that was really amazing. But this ending was so amazing. The thing about this episode, though, is that, the first, 40 minutes or the first half of the episode, it was good, but it wasn't like as cool as seeing Beta in Alexandria. Like that was pretty awesome. And Daryl versus, there was just more action. Well, I say more action. You guys get what I'm saying. More of the episode was taken up by action in the last episode. This episode, not so much, right? So it's what it is. Nathan, okay, says, Q&A, Trev, you should change your background colors to match the shows you're reviewing. Well, I do that already. But I mostly use for Walking Dead blue and red. But if I do like Better Call Saul or stuff like that, or other series, I'll change it to yellow and green or something like that, just to match it. Not that it matters. It's just freaking color of the background. Whatever. Amazing casting for Lydia, said Ken X111. Yeah, I think that is her name Cassidy? Is that McClincy? I just, sometimes I screw up names and stuff, but I remember from an article when she was cast, I think she is really good. There's a scene where she cries when she's talking with Carol, and I thought that was good. So she's a good cast for sure. Yeah, I think so. And there was the stuff last season with her and Daryl in that, and that was really cool. So yeah, I think she's really good. I wouldn't be surprised if she's maybe killed off by the end of the season, but I mean, again, maybe they're going for a Daryl and a Daryl Lydia, a Daryl Beth type of thing. Maybe that's what Kang's doing with that, which wouldn't surprise me because she wrote Still, didn't she? So Dobby Butcher sent through $1 super chat. So thanks, Dobby. Do you have a question you want to send through? If not, that's okay. But if you want to, you can. Do you think they should hire Greg Nicotero for the Clickers on The Last of Us TV show on HBO? Well, he's already doing Walking Dead, and that's his series, too. He's responsible for a lot of the success of The Walking Dead because Greg Nicotero made the zombies look like zombies. Without him, The Walking Dead wouldn't look and feel the way it does. It wouldn't feel real like that. So he's absolutely instrumental. And in a lot of ways, there's a lot of people to make The Walking Dead what it is. There's your cast who do, their performances are important. Whether it be Andrew Lincoln or whoever else, Norman Reedus or what have you, or with Fear, Lenny and Alicia and everybody. So that's important for that. And then, you have Greg Nicotero doing amazing direction and doing the Incredible Zombies, making them look that way. And then the writing team and everybody, showrunners, and then starting with originally Kirkman's comics to go from as your storyboard. There's a lot of people that make it what it is, right? So I don't think it's his as much as it's anyone else's. And I don't think he'll abandon ship because it's kind of his baby too, the same way as it is everybody else's who worked on creating these great series, right? So is what it is, and the universe now, like a great universe at this point. Yo, Trev says, Lordaine, hey, Lordaine, how are you doing? Look at the powers, says, I don't know. Greg's doing Creep Show also. All right, he's also doing Creep Show. I forgot about that. And so that's the thing. I haven't seen that, though. If any of you guys watch Creep Show, is it any good? I haven't seen it. So let's see. China and the demo rats created the coronavirus, says 404 Racer. So that's, I just knew like that would be a conspiracy theory right away, that it would be man-made or it would be, population reduction, create. Like I knew people would think that right away. I was like, yeah, someone's going to think that right away. I don't know if there's any evidence for that at all. I don't think there is, but people are just going to think that. Yeah. So, okay. So RT Cat is a good question. Trev, do you think Fear will actually cross back over into The Walking Dead? Well, I thought the voice on the radio sounded a little bit like Althea at first. And then after I was like, okay, no, it's not. So maybe I'm looking too much for crossovers. Are you guys doing that too? I kind of am. But the thing is like, do I think they're actually going to do the crossover? Probably not. But if Fear ends, it would be a great idea for them to take that cast of whoever's still alive in that cast, and you guys know which ones I'd like to see, and bring them into the original Walking Dead. It would be even better than seeing Magna and Kelly and Connie and those arrive, because you have a backstory for the Fear cast from 6 years now. So you're taking them, they're developed, everyone knows them who's watched the series. Even if you don't stick with it, you still have probably an understanding of who they are, and you take them and you add them to Walking Dead. So I think they're going to keep going strong. I'm sure Fear is still well performing compared to a lot of their series. So we'll see what that looks like for kind of the universe, Walking Dead universe approach, and how that's going to feel. But, will they eventually cross them over? I guess we'll have to wait and see, man. Maybe it'll never happen. But, I guess it's something that, we could all kind of hope to see eventually, the Fear cast with Alicia and with Morgan meet Daryl and the others. Like I don't know why, it's just cool. Or Rick, like all of them. That's kind of the whole idea, right? Is that eventually you see like a third movie and you have everybody hang out or something. I don't know. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how Gimple, mastermind, supervillain, makes this work. But however you get everybody in the universe together in a movie or in an episode or something, at some point probably should be done. I think even Chandler Riggs said he thinks he's going to do that eventually. He thinks that's what they're going towards. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know. Dirty Dan Brandon says, does Alicia and Lydia have a love scene in season 15? The fans demanded. What? Well, his name is Dirty Dan Brandon. So, okay. I guess that's just what it is. What the you want to see? I think the ages are out there. Gregory Ramirez says cave episode ending is like the end of the Goonies. That's true, right? I think what happened is maybe you're right. Maybe when Stranger Things came out, everyone just remembered the 80s all of a sudden. They were like, oh yeah, the 80s. I ran out and bought an arcade. There's this company called Arcade 1-Ups that do these releases, and they had an arcade part and Stranger Things and everything. It's like and then there's Ghostbusters, and they're even tapping into the popularity with is it Finn? Is that his name? Who's in Stranger Things? They're using him for the Ghostbusters movie. So it's like once this came out, everyone's like, oh yeah, you remember the 80s? I love the 80s. Let's do like this or that or Ghostbusters or whatever. And that's just what happens. So yeah, it's cool, man. But I am looking forward to Stranger Things. And maybe this year, when this year releases, maybe I'll review every episode and then just post them, and then people can watch individual episode reviews if they want to. Trouble is, when it hits, man, if it's on Walking Dead time, Walking Dead takes priority, as cool as Stranger Things is and everything. It's like Walking Dead always has to take priority. Dobby Butcher sent through, says, you think Carol is good in the sack? I bet she is. That's good. How old are you, Dobby? What's your age? If you're close in age range, well, Dobby, do you think Ezekiel's good in the sack? Of course, Cryptic has to say Ezekiel has, that acronym for that British broadcasting channel. So is Carol good in the sack? I think she's crazy. So I think she'd be, well, again, I can't really answer that question. Well, I guess he's super chat, so I have to answer. I kind of view her as like my zombie apocalypse mom. So, because Madison's dead now from Fear. So I can't view her as my zombie apocalypse mom. So I have to view Carol as my zombie apocalypse mom. And her age is actually, well, she's younger than my mom, but you guys know what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm sure she's, I'm sure Ezekiel's not complaining. He's probably not pushing her out of bed the next morning. Let's put it that way, right? So is what it is. So Ezekiel's kind of ripped. He kind of is ripped. He's kind of in good shape. But they're supposed to be, if they're going to be actors, so it's kind of like part of their deal. They kind of have to be, right? So, but yeah, he's in good shape. 21 All Programming Sports says Rosita is on Blacked. That's okay. I probably can't say, right? Like, what? That is not true, is it? If so, I gotta check this out. No, that's not true. Why does this always happen with the live streams? Every time we're doing live streams, you guys make it all sexual and shit and do some crazy shit. Why do you do this every time? It's like, oh, you guys, man. Well, sometimes it's the girls too. I'm not gonna say it's just the guys. I'm gonna be sexist here. Nick Gurr says Daryl's still a virgin. Cryptic Jigglypuff says she is. It's like, what? W says that I'm 33, but I am too, by the way. Masonic number 33. He'd do it, and he's 33. With Carol? Really? You're into that? Okay. I'm not going to judge you. But all these people are saying that Rosita is on some site or something. That's not true. I'm sure I would have heard of that by now. Come on. Are you serious? And again, why do you guys always, like I said, every time we do a live stream, you guys have to make it all sexual and stuff. Why do you do this to me every time? Trev, don't say Nick Gurr. Think about it. Oh, I didn't think about it. Sorry, guys. Anyone who's African Canadian or African American or whatever. I just read his thing. Don't hang me. Don't Gabriel hang me. Gabriel would hang me for sure. You guys just make it all. Well, it says Trev knows about Blacked. Yeah. How could you not, right? It's promoted everywhere. You got me. Oh, shit. Trev watches porn. Confirmed. Doesn't everybody? Poor Trev. I turned red. Yeah. Damn this 1080p camera. Damn this 1080p camera. It's like, at least if this was 480, like back in the day, I could pretend like I wasn't turning red, right? You guys all know what I am. Pokemon, yeah, maybe we have to not do live streams anymore. It's too much fun, right, for you guys. Pokemon Bandit Jay says, last scene reminded me of Game of Thrones. Damn. So yeah, super chat for that one. Yeah, it did. It did, absolutely. So 21 kids says he's on casting couch. Okay, can we get off the porn talk, please? This is YouTube. It's not some kind of other streaming site, cam site or something. I don't do those type of videos. Okay, guys. Sorry. I know there's some gay guys that follow the channel. I don't do those type of videos. Okay, so we do legit, Walking Dead zombie. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna. Do we have any other questions I prepared earlier? It's probably better. Let's see. Pretty soon, David Frederickson said through a good one before. He said, pretty soon we'll get a video where it's nothing but all right, LOL the whole time. Love you, Trev. And Dave, you missed it, man. I already did that video. It's like 2 weeks ago I did that, an all right video. So I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was fun. What did you guys think of that one? I thought it was pretty good. Okay, AJ Unlimited had a good one. He said, Trev, you got to say, or he says, I got to say, you were wrong about Angela Kang. She's doing a fantastic job with The Walking Dead right now. I just keep thinking about conversation earlier. But yeah, so Angela Kang is doing an awesome job with Walking Dead. I was wrong. I admit it. I was wrong. I thought when Angela Kang first started doing Walking Dead that every episode would be like Still or something. And not that, Still, some people like Still. So it's what it is. And maybe it has a special place in people's hearts because Beth is gone now. And Daryl actually is the last man standing. So it's what you said ended up kind of being true. But I got to say I was wrong. So I admit it. I was wrong about Angela. She's doing an incredible job. She's amazing. And so, yes, thankfully, every episode is not like Still. So I'm still happy. But I do notice there's more female fans for Walking Dead now. I think, not to be sexist, but, it makes sense. If you have like a female showrunner, then you're going to have kind of more of a female audience and vice versa. If you have a male showrunner, you're going to have stuff that appeals to male audiences. The way they think is different. The way men and women think, the psychology is a little bit different. So, like I said, women are better communicators, generally speaking, and men are better at building things and doing things like that. Women are more better at nurturing, which is why you have a lot of them in nursing and dental hygiene and things like that are, helping people in that way. And men a lot more times are in engineering. So it's just differences in interests and differences in, our biology and the way that we are. So not that one can't do the other. I'm sure there's plenty good male nurses, and I'm sure there's plenty good women that are in engineering, right? It's just, yeah. So we have Studio Wolf who says, Trev, like a tree falling in the forest and no one is there to hear it. Does it make a sound? If we don't see Eugene and Laura's sex scene, is Eugene still a virgin? So I don't know. I guess I'll just say that I'll say he's not. Let's just say he's not, because also, like, that was confirmed as a deleted scene. And then, there's Stephanie and stuff like that too, which could be coming up. So let's assume that based on that, at some point in the past before, he had somebody. Let's just say that, because he is kind of older and stuff too. So there's not many people that are still a virgin when they're in their 40s. Although there are some. I know a couple. I have one friend who admitted it to me. He's like 43, 44. I won't say his name, but he admitted to me that he was a virgin up until like 42 or something. So that's good. We got another super chat. Let's see what it says here. And pretty soon, I think we'll probably wrap up, because we're over an hour and 11 minutes. And somebody brought porn into the conversation, so now we gotta get close to wrapping it up now. Okay. Imagine Wagon says, I still think that Negan is playing the Whispers, but it does seem that he is going too far for that to be true. So that's a good point. So it feels like he's playing both sides, sort of like what Dwight did to him, right? Dwight was playing both sides, and maybe Eugene too, to a degree. Granted, he stuck his neck out to do the fake bullets at the end, the bullets that didn't work. But maybe Negan is at best playing both sides, like Eugene and Dwight had a conversation about. And, given an opportunity here, he may decide that he can't allow Alpha to do what she's doing, because it's going to result in Judith and the others being killed. So is what it is. Yeah. So anyway, I think we should pretty much wrap it up for tonight, guys. Conversations got a little bit crazy here near the end. So it's what it is, unless anyone else has any other good questions. Let's see, maybe we'll do a couple more, but we'll get close to wrapping up here because we're over an hour point. Michael Perrin says, Trev, Gabriel or Rosita, who would you rather have survived this season? So if I had to pick between the two, guys, Stan Bookman says Simon is on black. I don't know. What the heck, man? You guys are ridiculous. If I had to pick between Rosita and Gabriel, I guess I'll pick, I don't know. I really like what they're doing with Gabriel right now. He's pretty awesome. But I mean, I guess we'll stay with Rosita. Granted, if she wasn't in the show, I wouldn't have to deal with you guys saying this kind of ridiculous stuff. So is what it is, right? Good stream, Trev. Thanks, Andrew. I appreciate it, man. Do you count the spell and everything that has already happened as part of the official Whisper War? Okay, so that's a good one from Carolyn. Okay, and then the rest of her name's kind of crazy, but let's just answer that one. So I consider this as the Whisper War has officially started, and the Whisper War is on now, right? Like, it's on now. If it was ever not on, it is on now. So so that's it. So Laura got undertaken by Beta, says Tony as well. And okay. I'm fizzling out. I think we're fizzling out. You guys got me. I didn't realize the nickname was something else. And then it got into territory. This one went totally off the rails. All right, we got a super chat, so we can't leave. 21 All Programming Sports says Carol, Daryl, and Eugene will be in the shed having an orgy. So there we go, man. How did this happen? What am I going to do next week? Somehow next week I got to keep this on track here, because somehow we got off track here and things got a little crazy. So shut up, Nick. Dear God. To use that name, you bastard. Did you guys see what he just said? Oh my God, ridiculous. Why does it always? You guys are always bringing sex, you're bringing race, you're bringing all this stuff. Oh my God, I just don't even know what to say now. It's just ridiculous. Everybody's laughing. Okay, good stuff. All right, that means it's time to wrap it up, right? So you need moderators. Yeah, you need people screening the stuff to make sure that this kind of shit doesn't get through. And yeah, Trev's a good sport, though. I try to play along while also considering that, I just blame you guys. This is all your fault. I didn't prepare any of this. This is where you guys took me. So this is your fault. Don't blame me. I'm just here along for the ride with you guys in live stream. When I do the Q&A videos, I can screen the questions and do what we want. But I got to go with what you guys say. Okay, it's definitely time. It's definitely time. Keeping Trev on his toes. Yeah, I got to be more careful next time. It's definitely time to wrap it up for tonight, guys. Okay, thanks for joining me for the live stream. I think this is the most people we've ever had for a live stream. This is 320 people. So, all right, says Nathan. Yeah, and Nathan, absolutely all right. So, the most we've had. Thank you guys for joining me. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And check out the videos if you missed them earlier. Check out the predictions for next episode. And yeah, fun to see you blush. Yeah, it is, right? So embarrassed. So embarrassing. You guys got me pretty good, especially with the name one, because I just read it. I didn't even think like what I was saying. You know what I mean? You got me, man. I got to admit, you got me. Okay, guys, have a good night. I got to do the standard outro, right? That Connie did the one time, right? Saying peace, right? Okay. Yeah. So I'll see you guys soon for another video. Check tomorrow the next day. I'll have a new video for you guys soon. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon. Okay. Have a good one, guys. Have a good night. See you soon.